In Star Citizen, with the arrival of 3.23, we got a change to the flight model known as Master Modes, as well as not only just the tunings Master Modes brought, but also a huge rebalance of ship weapons within the game. Not only did it change the way fighter combat played out, but it also changed the way naval combat played out. Welcome pilots, my name is Hybrid V, and today I want to talk about naval combat currently in Star Citizen and what it's going to look down the line in the not too distant future. Now, with the previous old flight model and weapon balancing, you would just slap repeaters onto your multi-crew ship for your turrets, fly at high speeds, and just let loose, all while being pretty much ineffective regardless. Now the dynamics in Master Modes with large ships have been completely changed, where careful positioning in combat is far more important than speed, since everybody's far slower now all around. Shield quadrants need to be monitored and rotated in combat, and you can also apply more power to specific shield facings like we could in previous iterations. And what this effectively means is that you can increase a shield's quadrant HP up to about double the amount, but of course at the cost of the shield HP for other quadrants, leaving those sections vulnerable to attack. And while monitoring your shields, you also need to ensure your gunners have good angles on the targets you're trying to go after, so good pilot skills are important too. And on the topic of gunnery, weapons typically fielded on large ships have massive ranges compared to the previous tuning balances, which means when two ships slug it out, especially two large ships, they effectively will be trading blows with each other over multiple kilometers. You can still get closer to your enemy if you want, but your gunners do lose the effectiveness of overlapping fields of fire the closer you get to your target. So distance and positioning is key to victory when attacking another large naval vessel. So what about small fighter enemies? There's been a lot of debate about the effectiveness of multi-crew ships against fighters since the introduction of Master Modes, and the truth is, yes and no. Multi-crew ships generally don't always perform well against fighters when they're by themselves. This is because the fighters will just stay far away if they're smart, or ignore the larger ship altogether. This is why escorts are so crucial for actual naval combat. Remember that if you bring anti-material cannons to a naval fight in order to tackle another large naval vessel, your anti-fighter capabilities will be severely hampered. This is because of the slower projectile speeds. You could opt to bring repeaters, but the damage a repeater does is laughable compared to the alpha damage of an anti-material laser or ballistic cannon, especially versus a size 3 shield. Since a large capital or sub-capital ship can just rotate any damaged shield facings to let them recharge, each time you even get close to downing a shield facing, they can just rotate around and recharge that shield facing back to full, since it takes so long for those repeaters to bring one facing down to begin with. If you have a higher alpha output weapon instead, you can quickly drain rotated shield facings until they have nothing to work with. Also, on the topic of escorts once more, the added benefit of having an armed escort means that players that opt to double their front shields, for example, are now vulnerable to flank and rear attacks from fighter escorts, especially if those escorts have anti-material weapons as well. And this is all without even touching engineering, resource network, and physicalized damage modeling in the form of Maelstrom arriving soon, so you can see how far more complex large naval engagements are now with just these changes alone in 3.23. Now, currently a lot of sub-capital ships in the game don't even have traditional bridge designs all of us multi-crew lovers want. For example, no captain's chair, no helmsman chair, no co-pilot chair, no engineering station, none of that is in quite yet for a lot of ships. We do have two ships currently built that way, both the Starfarer and Hull C, neither of which are frontline warships. Even worse, the 890 Jump, despite being a capital class playable vessel, still requires the captain to fly the ship rather than requiring a dedicated helmsman, and this is the case for many other in-game subcapitals as well. Now, luckily CIG is starting to realize that ships will need this type of bridge setup just to control the chaos of managing a large warship during a fleet battle, which is why the new Polaris is going to be the first frontline warship players will get in their hands that will have this bridge layout. So that will be very exciting to put to the test soon. Alright, I talked a lot about naval combat within 3.23 and what it's going to look like going forward. I'm sure you are eager to see all this in action, and what you've been seeing as B-roll on the screen in the background as I was talking is members of my organization, the Forgotten Heralds, training in naval combat. Now, we've been preparing for this inevitability for a long time prior to Master Modes' introduction, and now that it's here, we've been working on our own doctrine as well as training future captains and crews on the ins and outs of naval combat going forward. So let's go ahead and start rolling the footage. I'll pop back in later in and out of the video to provide additional commentary, but for now, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, green guns, they're ready to go. Once 890 is down, there's no more respawns for the fighters. Gotta deploy Connie here.
Do you want to
Tell
wait
me
to
when.
or do you want to go?
Well, you're the captain of this vessel, Blackburn. You
Yeah,
tell
what the hell? Don't ask questions.
him. Okay, you're yelling at the captain.
Sir?
Yeah.
15
You want-
clicks out.
Do you want Chozo to focus on the 890 or the fighters?
Fighters. Keep the fighters
Copy.
first.
I feel
Okay, deploy, Connie.
like
Going 20 MS right now.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I feel like as soon as one of their shield faces drop, we should just focus all the fighters as well on the whole, because it didn't take that long at all to kill it, so...
I'm gonna hook to the left and we're gonna do like a clockwork.
Alright, Chozo, lead it,
clockwise
because I'm smaller than you.
flight pattern. There's fighters up
Copy.
by. Fighters up
There's a
by.
lot.
Remember, you have missiles on that Blackburn, by the way. You have control of missiles.
Missiles. Jesus.
Going after Soren. Fox 2.
Roger that, call out your target.
890. 890 is in range.
Oh, he's zooming.
Stay on the rear. They're weak.
One on no angle.
Top turret can't.
They stick around.
Top turret can't shoot past rear. So
Remember, it's naval combat. You're not trying to dogfight. You're trying to get angles.
Flash.
Alright, one down. Somebody was shooting at me. I don't see him. Oh, I see him now. You able to get him off of me or no?
I don't have eyes on him.
It's
Alright, I got
Spoots.
it.
I need you to find me and then look for Spoots.
I killed it on Spoots.
Okay, he's the one that you should be going after because he's the same as you.
We should be winning this because his bottom turret has no angle.
Fox 2.
Yeah. That's a good point actually. I'm gonna lift. And I'm
Trying to
gonna roll at the same
maintain,
time. Lift and roll at the same time.
Fire on only one shield face to the front.
Alright.
Oh, he's dropping. We're doing good. Our lowest shield face is right with 21%.
Yeah. Their front shells must be getting hurt. Oh yeah, they're purple. Their front shells are being damaged.
I'm gonna try and boost past them here, keep the angle. Tell me if both of you lose angle.
Good to know.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to left side.
Raven's taking fire.
Switching
Yep,
to left.
I'm still on Spoots. I think we got him. I'm not sure.
Front shields are red on
Coming
890.
for us. Rubbing speed.
Alright, Raven's going after Soren.
Flash one.
all front. Take
Front is taking hull damage.
Yep, front shield. Fighters, if you have no target for a brief second, switch to the 890. Focus the front. Coming out. Who's fronting out?
Alright, I'm not doing this now. We're gonna get the bigger ship. They're just 2v1ing and we're not able to kill the fighters.
Raven's taking fire.
Try to keep strafing left. Try and keep
Alright, switch to Spoots.
Copy.
Up and go.
Front is back to take damage.
Target that front turret.
Yeah, try and look.
Take out their gun.
Splash.
Soul Ringen's on you. Egress.
Yep, Raven's down.
I think that front gun is out. It looks like it's just facing forward.
Yeah, I think we got it. It's not returning fire.
Where's his bottom gunner at?
Doesn't have a sight line. No, they don't.
Oh, splash enemy 890.
Oh, do we need to splash the
We're
fighters
taking
as well?
ballistics.
Yeah, the fighters.
Yeah, I'm currently in one with a.
Oregon.
Spooks top right, spooks on the right side, spooks.
Raven's engaging Soren.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to you guys.
Spooks is chasing you, Connie.
Yeah, I'm coming back to you guys.
Yeah, Raven's going after Spooks.
Bottom is no angles.
Doing a flip.
No shields on Soul.
Spooks in front of you. Front.
Yes, on.
Yeah, lifting.
No angle.
Top gun, no sight line.
Front. Spooks.
No sight, he's too low.
Yeah, I'm gonna boost forward so we get a good side angle here. Going on the right side, check right side.
I see him, eyes.
Out of range.
Still got missiles on count.
Okay, the deploying missile or countermeasures does not work.
Yeah, I was deploying them as well. To be fair, I was deploying countermeasures and count wasn't going down. God knows.
Now nav mode apparently doesn't work in this apparently because I keep
Raven,
going 500 and down.
Should get a 2v1 Raven, draw them back to us.
Yeah, pull back to us.
Copy.
Both of them are on you. Sorry.
Soul's coming in first.
Ballistic. Yeah, he's hitting you. Run to us.
Running.
Bottom
We're in
no
range,
angle.
just Oregon.
Oregon no shields.
Yeah, well done.
Slide.
Good job.
Flash.
All on spooks.
Spooks. Oh, good hits.
Bring him closer to that 890.
Yeah, just move in.
Copy. Raven's down.
Here he is, he's coming in. Just one. Good hits.
Now, am I able to come back to the respawn or
Yeah, as long as we are alive, you can.
copy?
I have not respawned yet.
It doesn't matter because Spoots is down anyway.
That's it, we've won now.
Yeah.
Good job, well done.
Good work. Now, hopefully that's a good illustrator of why you don't generally want to fight at knife fight ranges with a capital class vessel, and you can see why. The other ship was struggling to get their bottom gunner an actual angle on our 890 jump, and therefore we were out damaging them very easily because we can just apply a lot more damage because both gunners had an angle. Now, this isn't usually a problem if you stay further away, but if you do get closer to your opponent, you have to be aware that your firing arcs are going to be obstructed at much closer ranges, so you have to then plan accordingly and change your position. In this case, we took advantage of it, got above the enemy target, and started laying hate on them, and they went down faster than we did. This is why positioning is key in naval combat, and also staying further away still gives you a better firing arc. You'll also notice we had fighter escorts as well, and the escorts were more focused on each other because the amount of damage they could potentially do to a capital class ship is negligible, especially since a lot of them were using not as much anti-material weaponry, they were using a lot of repeaters. So they were more focused on each other and only lending aid at the end when they needed to, pretty much not really being involved with the capitals fighting each other. And this is a dynamic you need to be aware of when you're involved in a naval engagement versus another large warship. Where are your escorts? What are they going to be doing? If they're involved in taking out other fighter escorts, you have to be cognizant of what the other team is doing. Are they going to try to come after you while your escorts are trying to take them out, or are they going to just be fighting your escorts? Is your escorts in trouble? If they are, bring them back to the mothership for assistance, because even though the turrets, for example, on the 890 are anti-material turrets just by default, they still could pack a punch if an enemy ship gets too close. They can splash a ship very, very fast if a fighter is not paying attention, so getting one of the ships to come in and play, ring around the rosy with the mothership is a valid strategy that can absolutely be employed. Remember that a multi-crew ship is not very good at taking out fighters because it has to chase them all over the combat space. It's better to draw an enemy towards your actual multi-crew ship than it is to start chasing ships. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the next clip.
The turret's probably
Missiles incoming.
Yeah. Dark.
Shoot the missile.
Apparently I do for it.
Another missile incoming.
It's not infinite, it just doesn't count down. The UI is bugged.
You've used them all.
No, I haven't. I used about 12.
Boots is 2k out.
They're dusting themselves. Okay, they're within 3k. They're.
Okay, gun in front.
We have their rear.
Right, no aggression.
Yeah, red front, red nose.
Remember, if we get close and shields are down, take out their gun.
Check that both guns are fired.
They have no shield. More shields.
I'm doing all damage.
Stay on their ass. We got this.
Front shield are fine. Thanks.
Raven's down.
Right charging.
5, 4.
Make sure you're aiming for the rear of the ship if we're gonna hit them.
0% more shields. And then 5 looks fine.
Nice flash on. Good kill there, Connie.
It's also coming.
We're at 2. We got them on our ass. Boots up top.
Turret is too slow.
Right side, speech right side, front.
Box 2.
I'm doing damage on all damage. Hold on. He's gone above. He's lost a component.
Yeah, we have got shields.
Splat.
Flash shield.
Got
Alright,
red nose
good
edge.
Alright, you can see that that engagement was a lot faster than the last one, and it's down to a simple factor that the Carrack has 2 size 3 shields, whereas the 890 Jump has 2 size 4 shields, which are capital class shields compared to the Carrack. So you'll notice that their shields will go down a lot faster. Now, of course, if our Carracks were outfitted with cannons, those shields would go down even faster than they did in this engagement. But there was also another thing that also contributed to the shields going down very fast on the enemy Carrack, and that was our Carrack had power to shields. Remember that power to shields has a huge damage mitigation bonus to it, not only to lasers but also ballistic damage, and the enemy was not utilizing that, so they are at a huge disadvantage. You may be tempted to put power to engines to get a little bit more boost rotation, but it's just not really that worth it. And powered weapons does nothing. It doesn't affect the turrets whatsoever, so there's no point in using it. Just keep it powered to shields, and you'll be golden the entire time. The other factor, of course, you'll notice that the fighters actually eventually got involved trying to help DPS our Carrack, but the callout was just too late and they were not able to put enough damage on the board to kind of mitigate and offset the damage that we were doing. So this is also why it's important, if you're going to be a commander of a fleet like that, that you are cognizant of what your fighters are doing and cognizant of your own ship, and making sure that you're making the correct call out at the right time to ensure that your ship is going to actually be safe and sound. So if you feel like you're getting into a bit of trouble and you're running out of shields, call that escort in and just do a Hail Mary if you have to, or just do an all-in, just do a dive. That's a strategy that you absolutely can employ. All right, let's go ahead and check out the next clip, shall we?
Wait, what buttons flares again on keyboard?
H.
So do I launch on Zarkandi?
I cleared those off.
Yeah, start attacking fighters, not Blackburn. Anybody but Blackburn. Alright, so Arcondi's burning in. Spoots, I'm gonna merge with them.
Yep, I'm with them right now.
Alright, He's no shields.
Engaging Blackburn.
Friendly fire.
Bottom, do you have an angle on Blackburn?
Weapons.
No.
Alright, going in a wide pattern. We're losing our front shields.
Gandhi's burning away.
Switching to port shield or starboard shields.
Try and chase him down with those missiles we're after. Check hybrid is on him.
Hard on the caterpillar.
Alright, everybody on Raven then, because Raven doesn't want to dogfight.
Everybody bully Raven.
Shield system.
No, he's still
Caterpillar
there.
burn away and start tagging Raven.
Copy.
Fighting them up.
Friendly fire.
How do you launch more than one missile again?
I don't know, but you have to learn your
Oh, yeah, I
control
see it, never mind.
for the keyboard stuff. I'm sorry.
Bottom turret, all in this way.
Roger.
Raven's no shield, it's all red. Keep going.
Switching to port shields. All our shields are pretty low right now. Someone just crashed into us, I think.
That was Raven.
Yeah. Keep going after Blackburn.
Where's Sarkandi?
Our rear shields are down. Our rear shields are down. Someone's on us.
Yeah, Blackburn is still on you, guns.
Switching. We lost an engine.
On Zarkandi now, dudes.
See him.
Flares are running low.
Blackman's nearly lost all his shields.
Zarkandi's got a red wing.
We are out of shielding.
Friendly fire.
Put all DPS on Blackburn. All DPS on Blackburn.
Yeah, Raj turning.
Friendly
His front shields are down.
Fire range.
He's taking damage.
Raven's back on the Caterpillar.
Rotating.
Turning off. Going after Raven.
Still on Blackburn.
Stay on Blackburn. Target number 1.
Copy.
His front shields are down. We're losing most of our shielding here. Our hull is red. We do have port shields that are up. They're switching targets, switching on to Blackburn, dropping on. Hang on, bottom shield gonna get you an angle here. Ah, they got us. Finish him off. So this is True Constance. One of our escort fighters is Helmet Cam. It's from Discord streaming, so I apologize of the quality. But after our Caterpillar went down, their Caterpillar went down immediately. So now it was basically sudden death. If everybody died, they can't respawn at this point.
Yeah, good kill, good kill. Get your shields, and then we're going for Zarkandi. Get your shields, and we're going for Zarkandi.
See him.
check fire. Check fire.
He's pocket flare or pocket sand.
Still on him.
Yeah, stay with him. Stay with him. He's going into the smoke.
Check fire.
I'm still on him.
Got him.
Yeah, good kill. Good kill. Good
splash.
kill.
Good work, boys. Good work. Yeah, that call there at the end to switch to Blackburn was the right thing. Good work.
Yep.
So in this engagement, I opted to actually go far more defensive in this one. I actually tried to do a lot of rotation and preserve shields, and you see how sticky we were, despite the fact that the enemy Caterpillar was firing all guns, and by the way, that pilot had power 2 weapons to increase the amount of magazine they had for their cannons they had on their pilot weapons. And despite that, and the Escort attacking us, it still took them a long time to take us down, because I not only had power to shields, but I was also constantly rotating shields while also ensuring that our gunners had angles the entire time and trying to stay a healthy distance away from the enemy target. And even though we died, the enemy Caterpillar died almost immediately after ours died. So despite the fact that they were winning the DPS race almost the entire fight, because we were staying as a really sticky target by constantly rotating shields keeping power to shields and ensuring we were staying at a healthy distance so our cannons can do some work and constantly just keep moving and staying in good positions, we stayed on the battlefield for a really long time, even when the enemy was still trying to peel us and attack us with their fighters as well as their caterpillar. And towards the end, when things were looking really dire, I made the all call for the enemy to be knocked out basically by our fighters, for them all to essentially alpha strike the enemy caterpillar to see if we can knock them out early. And we unfortunately didn't get that in time, but we did eventually get the splash right away. And if I hadn't made that all call or been sticky and tried to stay pretty defensive with the caterpillar, the fight could have gone really poorly there and we could have lost easily there after we've lost the caterpillar. So this is why, again, positioning is key, and also paying attention to your shield facings, paying attention to where your gunners are, and maintaining good distance are critical. Even in points where you're not going to win the fight, as long as your fleet wins, that's the important thing. Obviously, you don't want to lose your capital ship, you don't want to lose a flagship, but at the end of the day, the battle is just as important as anything else, right? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next clip.
Bottom, no shot tech.
How's up?
Good, good.
Bottom, no shot.
Watch your left, Zach. Watch your left.
Watching.
Rock. I
Fine.
had to rotate for a shield.
Oh
We
my
died.
God,
Yep, you hit it
I-
straight up.
That was me. Well, we can still win.
Yeah, we're good. Keep going. Bottom turret, Zach.
Take it.
Bottom, no shot.
Use your left and right side, Zach.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go back. You recharge the front shots.
No shot.
Taking
Bottom.
damage.
Backing up.
No shot. Bottom, Zach.
Give it.
Good, good.
You mind if I get the dice goes?
Go ahead.
Don't point your nose at him.
No shot. Bottom, Zach.
Our sides on him, so that way both turrets shoot.
Good, good.
Just trying to get the front shield without rear shield.
No, yeah, that's
Yes,
fine.
sir.
I'm just saying. Just keep in mind your sides, your strongest for your defensive power.
No shot. Bottom.
I'm holding the left side.
Good, good.
Missions recharge.
They're switching. They're on the back.
No shot, top side.
They're below us. Coming to the front side.
See him.
No shots.
Good job, good job.
Bottom, no shot.
Zach, put your left side to him, or put your pilot side to him.
No, I don't talk to him.
Shield's low, recharging.
I can see out the doors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
He's
like
on the bottom. Come to front.
Shield's pretty offline.
Watch your rocks.
Shooting.
Switching to left.
No shot, top.
That's what I do.
Medium.
No, I
Good angle. Good angle.
No, you cannot. Technically, we are friends.
We go do
Damage.
damage. Do damage. Get out of here, Zach. Move.
Oh, no angle.
Rotating.
You should have town now.
Yeah, got it.
Bottom's good, Zach. Good. Just keep moving. Good
Nice.
job. Hell yeah.
Good splash, good splash.
Good job.
That was... Yeah, that was dicey. You lost most like half of your engine power. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta say.
And another excellent example of why positioning is so key in naval combat, especially now and going forward down the line. You'll notice there was some pilot error and the Caterpillar had lost its engines, and despite that pilot error and being behind on the HP pool DPS race, so to speak there, they still were able to pull it out, and the reason why is because the other Caterpillar was not disengaging properly. So when the other Caterpillar was losing their shields, they were rotating in other ways to try to get their shields back, but they were not doing it in a way that ensured that their turret gunners had clear lines of sight of the enemy. Remember that when you want to rotate, you want to make sure that your gunners are still maintaining good lines of sight of the enemy. So as you're rotating, you're probably going to be doing a lot of yaw motions a lot, so that way you can ensure that your turret gunners are still going to have clear shots on the enemy. It's going to depend on the type of ship that you're using here. In this case, we're using Caterpillars because they're excellent training platforms. But you'll note that if you don't kind of do a yaw pattern as you're trying to pull away and rotate and charge those shields, not all the gunners are going to have good angles. So if you try to do it in pitch, up or down, you're going to notice that the top or the bottom gunner is not going to have an excellent angle. And that's DPS you're losing out on. So you're going to want to make sure that you're yawing around when you're trying to rotate around. This is why it's so crucial for positional combat. Even without the speed, because they were lacking 2 engines on that Caterpillar, without the speed, the positioning still won the day because it's still really, really crucial. All right, let's go to the last clip of the day, shall we?
Yeah, I don't know who my gunners are.
Bottom.
Nice on the white part over.
No bottom, Zach. Good, Zach.
Yeah, this pip is way smoother than what's going on.
Yeah, just desync, man. We got a new lobby. New you.
Rotate.
No depressions up. The only depression I have is my own. Thank you.
Word.
Thank you for making my advertisers flee, Constance. I appreciate that. I've been demonetized.
I keep forgetting that you're
Yeah.
that you split your audio. Shut up.
Top no angle.
Bottom no angle, Zach. To no angle, Zach.
Top of that depression.
Bottom no angle, Zach. Good. No angle, Zach. Bottom. Good.
Status update.
Top good angle.
No angle, Zach. Bottom. Good. No angle, Zach. Good.
Getting really close. This is not a dogfight. How are you on it? No depression. It's a bad firing solution. Still bad firing solution.
Top lost angle. Top good.
Top no depression. Top no depression. Top no depression.
Zach, bottom knowing.
Top no depression.
Okay.
Oh, we're shot. Top charge.
Top no angle. Top no angle.
Yep, keep blasting the rear. Yeah, I'm gonna trust the boys on this one.
Fucking knife shield.
Changing angle slightly, notify if you don't have it.
Top charging.
Shield down.
Top charging, bro.
Just keep blasting. Alright, turning ship.
Shield down. Backing out.
You still have equal electric.
Range.
Yeah,
Recharge.
just,
Need to recharge.
Out of range.
Going in 10 seconds. Going back in.
Getting close.
Yep. It is the intent right now.
Bottom no angle, Zach. Good. Still no angle, Zach.
Yeah, good.
Yep. Hold that.
Yep, keep blasting.
That's it, number.
Blasting.
Bottom no angle. Bottom no angle.
Top no angle. No depression.
Bottom no angle, Zach.
Turn your nose up. Good enough, Blackbird.
Got out of recharge.
Yeah, I guess they're even rear shields. There is turn.
Top charging. Top charge.
I can barely hear you, Blackbird.
Top charger.
They hit everything.
Okay.
Bottom no angle, Zach.
Yeah, rotating. Here.
Top no depression. We're out of the
We're outside,
simulation.
we're outside.
Backing out.
Out of simulation.
Turning. Yeah, boys got angles.
Good angle.
Friendly fire.
Top no depression. closer you get, the smaller the angle is for the turrets.
Trying to keep my distance.
Yeah, he's using those ballistics.
Rotating.
When I
Shield down.
Bottom now.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna take the back. Take the back.
Small picture.
You charging back?
No angle rear. No angle rear.
Turn under pressure stop.
Let me know what's your dry, so that way I can get on that.
Recharges so fast.
Top yeah, but still, it's better than. Is
Top
the
charged.
Top and I can share the same target, and I'm still fine.
Good.
Automatic gun share.
I have some charge data.
Good splash.
The ballistics are kind of cool.
Yeah, the ballistics didn't do much at all.
No, you just gotta lead pips from long range. Once you get past 2 clicks with them cannons, you're gonna really lead.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. You guys at least took the engine off. What's the status on the hull here since it's flashing here, Mix?
Green.
What's all green for me?
Really, interior's flashing.
Yeah, just range.
Yeah, only the engine is damaged.
We have some minor damage on the bottom right, as far as you can see.
Alright, I'm sure it is painfully obvious to you now at this point how important positioning is in terms of enable engagement. I've kind of been harping on this for a while now. There still is, however, a few more tips I want to relay before we close out today's video. And that tip is going to be weapon choice, more specifically turret weapons. Note that I'm talking about naval weaponry here, so I'm mostly going to refer to weapons size 4 and above, as anything below size 4 is generally used for lighter duty, such as offensive weaponry for fighters and defensive weaponry for smaller multi-crew vessels. First of the laser weapons is the Klausenwerner CF series of laser repeaters, which have a very fast fire rate, low damage, large turret capacity pools, and are usually the most common weapon you'll find on large ships. Their projectile speeds are very fast, making them excellent for anti-fighter roles. However, despite having a 3-kilometer maximum range, you will most likely not see effective results until targets are below about 1 kilometer to 1.5 kilometers due to the travel time of projectiles and the high level of dispersion these weapons have. Use these weapon systems as more of an area denial weapon against fighters, since fighter pilots with a modicum of common sense will know to steer clear of any ships fielding these weapons. They can be used in a pinch for naval combat against another large ship, but their damage is paltry compared to a proper anti-material weapon. Hurston Dynamics' Attrition series has a much slower rate of fire and slower projectile speeds compared to the K&W models, but they make up for it in damage output and higher accuracy. They can be a nice in-between when you want solid damage and decent anti-fighter coverage. Now, despite having a 3-kilometer maximum range, their slower projectile speeds mean you still won't really see much effectiveness against smaller fighters until they're around about 1 kilometer away or closer. Laser cannons, such as the Behring MXA line, fire slower but hit much harder. The Behring MXA series is the highest damaging of any laser cannon at the cost of sluggish projectile speeds. These cannons tend to be a go-to for any fleet looking to dish out the pain at range, thanks to its 3-kilometer maximum effective range. Due to the very slow projectile speeds, however, don't expect to hit fast-moving targets that are beyond 800 meters. Use this weapon to trade blows with other large ships at a distance, and leave the anti-fighter role duties to escort craft instead. Another laser cannon line is the Omnisky series by Amon and Reese. They do lower damage than the Behring MXA series, but they make up for it with a higher fire rate and a slightly better projectile speed. A good balance in between for firepower and projectile speed. You may want to pick these up if you want to hit other multi-crew ships hard, but still want to potentially defend yourself from fast-moving threats, as they can be effective against fighter targets that are below a kilometer. And finally, for the laser cannons, we have the Lightstrikes series, which are Tevarin laser cannon replicas. These are primarily used as anti-fighter duty weapons, as they lack the stopping power of other laser cannons, but instead offset that with projectile speeds that travel at a blistering 1800 meters per second. While not as fast firing as the K&W CF repeater series, they are however more accurate. Despite the higher projectile speeds and accuracy, however, you still will not see much effectiveness against smaller targets beyond around 1.5 kilometers due to the travel time of the projectiles. These make an excellent anti-medium and anti-heavy fighter weapon due to the higher alpha damage per shot compared to a standard laser repeater. Revenant Gatlings fire bullets at an eye-watering 1200 rounds per minute. The main downside is the pathetic amount of damage they do per round hitting the target. Now, they can penetrate shields, but they lose some of their momentum, causing the shield to block about 30% of the damage if the pilot is not actively prioritizing power to shields. If they are prioritizing power to shields, however, then the damage mitigation is about 60%. The effectiveness of shield pen increases as the shield facing's health drops. They also have limited ammo, about 2,000 rounds per weapon, as well as they overheat pretty rapidly when used in fixed mode. With this in mind, these are better suited in a support role, punishing ships that lack shielding, such as fighters and other multi-crew ships, and also because of their sheer saturation fire, they can be used as a great sea whiz platform, being very effective at shooting down incoming missiles and torpedoes. Don't, however, expect them to hit smaller, agile fighters beyond 1 kilometer out due to their slightly slower projectile speeds than their laser repeater cousins. They also have a maximum effective range of 3 kilometers. The Behring AD series has a slower fire rate and projectile speed than the Revenants, but offsets that with higher damage per bullet. These suffer from the same drawbacks as the Revenants in general using ballistic ammo, in that they can have their damage severely mitigated. So, much like the Revenants, these are much better suited in a supporting role against unshielded threats. With a mag capacity of 1500 rounds and a max range of 3 kilometers, these weapons are better suited for firing at distant, large threats. Due to the volume of fire, however, they can be used in a sea whiz role in a pinch for taking out torpedoes, as missiles can be too fast for them to hit with their slow projectiles. Also, don't expect to hit smaller, agile threats that are more than 800 meters away, simply due to the slow projectile speeds. For ballistic cannons, we have the Deadbolt line of Tevarin replicas. These hit harder than even the strongest laser cannon, but they still suffer from the same drawbacks of ballistics that we mentioned previously. They also have a very slow projectile speed, topping out at around 900 meters per second. With a maximum effective range of 3 kilometers and a 267 round magazine, they can be used for a knockout blow against another large unshielded ship. Due to their very slow projectile speeds, however, don't expect to hit any fast moving targets that are beyond 800 meters away. The Behring C788 Combine Cannon is a ballistic cannon that has an astonishing maximum range of 6.5 kilometers. The main drawbacks are the same as any other ballistic weapon we talked about here, but more importantly, they do mediocre amounts of damage compared to Deadbolts, fire even slower, and have equally just as slow projectile speeds, topping out at around 900 meters per second. They also have a very small magazine size of about 100 rounds per weapon. These could be used in a sniper role, peppering targets from beyond their own maximum effective range, but they can also still have their damage mitigated by reinforced shields. So once again, these type of weapons are best suited as a support weapon platform. Okay, next I want to talk about some outliers such as mass drivers and Tachyon cannons. They both have an abysmal range of about 1.2 kilometer max. They receive no additional aiming assists even when you're using manual gimbal, so the barrel nudging doesn't even function properly even when you're aiming close to the pip. And they also fire very slowly, requiring the gunner to hold the fire button, of which it will then fire whether the operator is ready or not. Couple that with it only being size 1 through 3, they make just very poor defensive weaponry, not just for any large vessel, but for any multi-crew ship. Mass drivers suffer from the same ballistic drawbacks of having damage mitigated by shields, despite doing a lot of damage, assuming you can even hit them. They also carry only around 70 rounds. These weapons are better suited as a fighter weapon platform than as a defensive weapon platform on a multi-crew ship, as any fighter pilot with 2 brain cells they can rub together will just stay outside of the 1.2 kilometer effective range, all while peppering the target back with impunity. Now, Tachyon lances, or also known as Tachyon cannons, are slightly better in that they're energy versions of mass drivers, so they don't have the limited ammo issues of the mass drivers, and they can also burn through shields a lot quicker as a result, assuming, again, that you can even hit the target. But they still suffer from the same short ranges and only have a maximum size of 3. Also, the bigger drawback is you need Banu defenders to pull them off since you can't buy these weapons in-game currently. Now, there's some ideas floating out there about using these type of weapons as sort of a knife fight loadout for multi-crew ships against, say, another multi-crew ship, but it can be hard to recommend this since there are just other, far more efficient weapon platforms available to pick from instead. And also remember that fighting at close ranges can hamper your gunner crew's ability to get angles on another large threat. Alright, there's a lot more I could talk about, including large-scale tactics involving large warships, and even guides for gunnery, but this video has gone on long enough as it is. If you would like to see more content covering these topics, be sure to let me know down below. Also, if you have further questions, be sure to pose them below or in my Discord. Links will be below. Alright folks, that's it for me today talking about naval combat. Master Modes has made large vessel engagements far more interesting than previous iterations. Now, currently we can only smash our civilian ships together in large engagements, but with the advent of the Polaris and many more other capital ships such as the Idris and much more around the corner, things are starting to heat up for many in the multi-crew community as we close in on 4.0. That being said, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like as it really does help out the channel, and of course if you want to see more videos like this and much more down the line, be sure to subscribe as well. Of course, if you want to support the work I do here on the channel, consider becoming a channel member like these fine folks here, whose membership helps me immensely when putting these pieces together. But until next time, fly safe, and I'll see you all in the black.